And looking back at 4 years ago, 4 years, 6 months ago, you were part of the group that came together to consolidate the efforts of the president in order for him to win.
Yeah, absolutely. I would start by that point. You know, in 2021, the elections were almost a two-horse race between His Excellency President Adama Barrow and then Honorable Lawyer Seydou Dabo. It was almost a two-horse race. So, and then the election results, you know, showed that as well. So it was a matter of principle. We joined the president. You know, we are very happy also. You know, we are very happy, and we assume, you know, our role in endorsing the president because of we endorse him based on principles. Okay, and that doesn't mean that he was the best or he was the most qualified. No. But this is partnership. In politics, there is partnership, and partnership is legal in politics. Okay, so I myself personally, I went for nomination. I did not go through, so I had to continue the election through endorsement. And then His Excellency President Barrow and his team, they came to me and talked to me, you know, and then I also told them that I have some projects that I want you to use to develop this country, which they agreed upon. So if you see the day of my endorsement, I handed him 2 books. One of them is 433 Attack. The 433 Attack, it is a book, it is a political...
433 Attack.
Yes, it is like football formation.
Right.
For, you know, the development of the good governance, you know, about how, it's a vision, it's a visionary book, you know, that talks about various sectors of, you know, how to, you know, develop a country. So we came with that. So it was an opportunity for us to work with him, you know, to give him what we have. Because if we cannot go, at least let us work with somebody who can go. That was the philosophy that we came with. But just few months partnership, I saw that President Barrow is not the right deal for the country, you know, because, you know, I cannot see mistakes, you know. I may have committed errors, but I want to sit on those errors, knowing that, you know, he's not fighting against corruption, knowing that, you know, he's not fulfilling his campaign promises, like employment, giving employment to the youth, empowering women, you know, working towards self-sufficiency, you know, and then, you know, the improving the crime rate or eradicating criminality in the country. We've seen that all these, they are regressing. So I cannot sit by, you know, work with him, and then at the end of his term, you know, I will definitely be responsible, you know, in abating incompetency, in abating corruption, and in abating inefficacy of his government. This is why I had to step out and tell the government people that, you know, the reason why I endorsed the president was because I had a project and I handed him over my project, but I see that he has no interest in project. What he has interest with is oligarchy. What he has interest is, you know, promoting malgovernance. What he has interest is, you know, his lack of appetite, you know, to promote youth development, to empower women, and so on and so forth. So this is why we had to stand back, you know, and face the Gambian people and tell them we were the ones who endorsed him. But now, you know, we are trying to remedy that mistake by making sure that we take him out of office 2026, because Barrow is not the right deal for the country.
Mr. Ba, you've made many, I will call it allegations for now, but you know, we're reminding our viewers that they are watching Teledal, and this is our weekly Friday show in The Fix. Honorable Ba, you've made mention of few things, and then knowing very well that you and I have known each other and we followed each other on a couple of atmospheres, and we've seen what happens in those platforms. What makes you believe that this country will trust the development, trust its agenda, trust its democracy into the hands of a movement rather than something would be looked at a bigger picture as a political party? Why would we give it to the Afro movement with the belief that Afro movement would do what PPP haven't done here, what NCP haven't done here, what NPP have not done here? In fact, if we go back to history, we had other parties that were here. Of course, we had NCP. We have, of course, now we're looking at GPDP. We're looking at other parties, UP before. Now, if this is something that they have not given it to them and they're still calling themselves a party, in the mindset of the Gambian, we believe that a movement is just a group of young people or a group of people that come together and have a particular agenda. That's what they want to execute, and it has nothing to do with the mantra of national development. Why do you think Gambians should entrust its nation, its integrity, its sovereignty into the hands of Afro movement?
Okay, thank you for that question. You know, a movement is just like a political party. A movement is just like an unregistered political party. And then an unregistered political party, a movement, is equivalent to an independent candidacy. An independent candidacy. An independent candidacy, it's our constitutional right. It is accepted by IEC. If you don't have a political party, you stand as an independent candidate. So that movement is synonymous to independent candidacy. And I'm glad to say that I'm one of the pioneers, if not the pioneer, of political movements in the Gambia. Because in 2021, I was the one who came with the Afro movement. And now remember, look at the political atmosphere and see how many movements are here. So this alone, you know, shows that, you know, I have something to offer to the Gambian people. You know, and also talking about our policies, you know, when you talk about Afro movement, it means African federalism and republican orientation. This means it is a political philosophy. You know, for you to govern a country, for you to develop a country, it needs to come through philosophy, through a political philosophy. And this political philosophy, it is exactly what we lack here as a country. You know, this is the political philosophy that is not happening here. Because like in Afro movement, you'll hear there are three key words there. Federalism, republicanism, and orientation. To orient people through republicanism. What is republicanism? Republicanism, it is a Latin word meaning republica. Republica meaning, you know, the affairs of the state. Like what belongs to the state belongs to everybody. So this is what is lacking in the country. We've seen that what belongs to the people is going to a handful group of people, you know, is going to a particular group of people that I call the oligarchy. It is going to a people that is equivalent to monarchy, which our forefathers fought for. The reason why we are a republic is the Republic of the Gambia. We had our independence in 1965. And in 1965, that was almost a semi-autonomous because we were still reliable. We were still dependent to the monarchy, you know, that is to the King of England. And by that time, it was the Queen of England, that is Queen Elizabeth II. Okay, so 5 years later, we had our republic. So it means now the Gambia was on its own, sovereign, a sovereign country, and it is elections that will determine the presidency, but also it means that what is in the country belongs to the people. That was, you know, in 1970 when we had our republic. But the country is not going in that direction. What is in the country does not belong to the people. It belongs to few people. You know, this is why you see a lot of corruption going on in the country, which they are promoting, which they are not fighting against. This is what Afro movement come to fight against. And this is why we say African republicanism. If you talk about republicanism, it is not only republicanism based on the European concept or the American concept. Because you remember, you know, in Europe, there used to be monarchy, oligarchy, and aristocracy, and other form of governance. But it was like the French Revolution of 1789, you know, which brought Napoleon Bonaparte. That was the beginning of republicanism in Europe. And then, if you go to America, it started with the American Revolution. with the American Revolution, because they were dependent to the British.
Right.
So that was that's when republicanism started in America.
Yeah.
So, but now this republicanism is in the African context.
Yeah, because I'm looking at more of it making relevance to what's happening on the ground in the Gambia.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is why I'm saying that this republicanism that we bought, it is the African concept. Republicanism based on African issues, based on our problems. And then that's why we have also federalism, to federalize the African continent. This is what is happening in many places in Africa.
Now, but I'm not going to interrupt you, because I know you are trying to inherit some sort of a philosophy that have worked in other countries, and you think we could do a replica of that in the Gambia.
Within the African context.
Now, of recent, I followed some things that have gone around, including your application of trying to have a rally in Banjul. We were informed reliably that you were not granted a permit. Now, I understand you kind of get a little bit uncomfortable, or you definitely got upset with that situation. You also said that the Gambia is under democratic terrorization. So I wanted to hear, what are these things you can pinpoint and make it as a proving point of this stance, and then if you would dilate a little bit of why were you not granted the permit?
Yeah, okay. It's like on the 11th of October, 2025, we were supposed to hold a big rally, a mega rally.
Afro movement.
Afro movement. So the reason why we wanted to hold the rally is, it was the Afro movement Banjul chapter that wanted to invite us alongside the whole Afro movement nationwide, whereby people...
By the way, how big are you?
Yeah, we are present in all the regions.
Okay.
We are present in all the regions. This is why we wanted to call all of them to Banjul, to talk to them about our policies, to talk to them about our agenda, to talk to them about the current state of the degrading current state of the country. We applied because we are democratic, and we believe that we are in a democracy, and it is our constitutional right. Our constitution in section 25, 1D, guarantees the freedom of assembly. So let people not say that, okay, we are not in an electoral period, so we don't have to organize rallies.
Was that the reason?
No, I said let people not say that.
I thought that was the reason you were not denied.
Yeah. Some critics, say that we are not in an electoral calendar, or we are not in an electoral period. That is not the reason. The reason we do it is because we already know that it is guaranteed by the Constitution. It is our constitutional right to organize a rally, because the president himself is organizing rallies. His allies also, they are organizing rallies everywhere around the country. So it was supposed to be our constitutional right to also organize that rally or meeting, whatever you call it. And then to be in line with laws, to be in line with a peaceful organization, we decided to write up a permit through the Banjul chapter, because they were supposed to be our host. So when they did it, they decided to play us what I call a ping pong game. Come today, come tomorrow, and then they never wrote a letter, indicating that they've denied us. They've never wrote a letter indicating the reason why they are not giving us permit. So
they did not really say they denied you, they just did not respond?
Yeah, they did not respond. And then we made follow-ups. We made calls, phone calls. We were present physically to make follow-ups, but they refused to grant us permit. So we said, this time, we are not going to, we are going to, do, as they say. We are not going to organize a meeting. But the next time, we won't accept this, because we won't be intimidated. We are not afraid. We are ready. The line that we have chosen is opposition, and the line we have chosen is to remove His Excellency President Adama Barrow peacefully through the ballot box. This is what we want, and this is what we are going to do. And we have the right to organize political rallies anywhere, anytime.
Professor Ba, let me ask you this. Are you another movement that is interested in probably protesting like other protesters in the country? Because protest has become the order of the day.
No one wants to protest. President Barrow and his government has to really study, the current political atmosphere in Africa. Every year people are contesting against the high cost of living. They are contesting against corruption. They are contesting against malgovernance. They are contesting about so many things that are not working for the country. And our country is not an exception. All those problems that are being fought in other countries are definitely present in this country right now. But the Gambians are naturally the Gambia is naturally a peaceful country. Gambians are naturally peaceful. You could even see that in the image of His Excellency President Barrow. Everybody knows that, he's somebody who is calm. He's somebody, who is peaceful. We have to acknowledge
now,
that.
Because this is...
No, we have to acknowledge that for him.
Thank you.
But that doesn't mean that, that doesn't mean that, the Gambian, if they are pushed to the corner, they won't react. This is what they are trying to do to us. But we are saying that next time we apply for permit and they refuse to give us permit, we won't accept that.
You will protest?
Yes, we will protest. not protest. No.
It has different forms.
No. I say the next time, I repeat this.
You will not accept?
We won't accept
And if
that.
you don't accept, what will you do?
Yeah, no, we cannot tell you exactly what we are going to do, but we won't accept that for now. Okay? So now you qualifying, asking the question why we qualify it as a terrorist attack.
Yeah, because I heard that statement.
I said it was a terrorist attack on the democracy of the Gambia.
I just wanted proofs on that.
Yeah. The reason why we said it was a terrorist attack on the democracy of the Gambia. Let me talk to the Gambian people. Let them listen to me. Let them hear me. The main reason why we said that is because, the denial of a permit, is undone. And it is a constitutional right. That is one. Number two, the forceful removal of the Auditor General and then replacing him with somebody, who will do what we want him to do, it's definitely unconstitutional, and that is an attack to the democracy of the Gambia. And when you say a terrorist attack is nothing other than violence. And this time around, this is a violence against the Constitution. This is a violence against the democracy that we've all fought for. And let it be clear, it is not President Barrow who brought democracy in the country, but it is the Gambian people themselves who fought for this democracy. We fought, to remove someone who was termed as a dictator. And then we went through the ballot box to do that. So the democracy, we earn it. The democracy, we snatch it. And we have to guard it. We have to safeguard our democracy.
Now, what would you say somebody who is right now watching us on Teledal, the Fixo, that's saying that the reason why Mamadou Ba is upset is because among the 11 people, some of whom had their own political parties, some of whom had their own movement, some of whom had their group of people that were rallying behind them in supporting their political agenda, we are not fortunate enough to have either a ministerial position, a directorial position, or somebody to work with government, because he is not privileged to that. This is why he is upset. And that's why he stood on the side and tried to make things on his own and try to take such a step. What would you say to a critic like that?
Yeah.
No,
it's not that. Those who know me personally knows that, I'm a patriot. Those who know me know that I'm not somebody who is bitter. Those who know me know that I love the country. I endorse President Barrow based on principles. Okay, and you not having a position doesn't mean that you cannot work with the government. You can work with the government without having a position. You can work with the government while having other responsibilities on the ground. We've seen it. There are so many people who are with him, who are not on the scenes. Okay, so for me, but that is not us. Me working with the president right now would have been not good for the country, because it means I would have been there praising him. I'll have been there clapping him when things go wrong. I will have been there defending the undefendable. I will have been an advocate of the devil, which I refuse to do. So I am with the president. I was with the president based on principle, based on my knowledge based on my project, the project that I had or that I have for the Gambia, that was based on that. But I've seen that he's not on the right track. I've seen that the Gambian people need me, to stand as a strong leader, to fight corruption, to fight anti-democratic acts, to fight, to have a visionary leadership. This is why we are into politics, but we are not into politics because of other things. Okay. If you had, I'll just give you an example. In 2016, I created the pro-Gambia movement.
Pro-Gambia movement,
yeah,
brilliant.
The pro-Gambia movement was a movement that was working with political leaders. And then we defended a peaceful, free, and fair elections in the Gambia during dictatorship, during the time of Yahya Jammeh. So many people were surprised. It was the first time we have a civil society organization mixing up with political leaders. This is something that many people would be able to verify. We gave President Barrow the first political discussion, when he was elected as the flag bearer of UDP, the pro-Gambia movement. We sat with him, discussed with him, and it was published on newspapers. It is everywhere. If you Google it right now, pro-Gambia movement, in 2016, you will see the activities that we've been doing. So with that, we were not intimidated. In fact, the NIA called us to question us. All of us, we went to NIA, but people did not hear, we do anything. And it was an opportunity for us, if we wanted something else, to go, to run, and then, to go to the other, to European or Western embassies to ask for visas, ask for asylum, and stay there. But that is not our aim. Our aim is the little knowledge that God has given us. We share it with the Gambian people. This is why we are into it. And in 2016, there were offers that was made to me, but I did not.
So you were offered?
Yeah, honestly, in 2016. So there are so many things that happen in the ground. Most of the people talking about Mamadou Ba, they don't know Mamadou Ba. But most of the people, who don't know me, I urge them to, to investigate more, to know who is Mamadou Ba.
Thank you very much, Mamadou Ba. Like I said to our viewers, today we are hosting Mamadou Ba, the President, the Secretary General, and the leader of the Afro movement. Of course, he's been involved in other movements before, a very strong advocate of democracy. We will go for a short break, and when we come back, we will digress a little bit on some other topics, but probably in our local languages. Thank you very much. jërëjëf su suñ seetaankat yi ñu ngi leen di jaajëfal ñi nekk si dëkk bi fii nii ak ñi nekk bitim réew ñu ngi wax ñëpp ne ñu ngi leen di dalal si Teledal di leen fàttali ne ñu ngi seetaan suñ weekly show bi ñu dee ooyee di fix of course dañ dee waxtaanee ay anam yoo xam ne ñoo nekk si dëkk bi li nga xam ne moo nekk di dox si dëkk bi xew-xewi jamono ak niñ koy saafaraalee ni ñooy waxee ñi nga xam ne ñoo nekk si xalimba bi si toog bi si ñi nga xam ne ñoo nekk si jiite seen kuréel yoo xam ne ñoo nekk di yóbbu réew mi si kanam tey nag kuñ fi am mooy Mamadou Ba di njiiti Afro Movement of course Mamadou Ba nekkut ku ñu réeree mbir si dëkk bi fii semaine bu passé ni rek samedi bi amoon na fi press conference mu waxtaan ak ay ndaw mu waxtaan ak ay ñoo xam ne ñooy ay ñoñam ñooy ànd ak moom te ti firndeel ñoom seen taxawaay si réew mi fii nii of course Afro Movement nekk na ndaw boo amee groupe ndaw yoo xam ne Mr Ba dinañu si gën a duggal bu baax mu wax ñu lan lañ dee def fan lañ teg seen tànka fan lañ bëgg a yóbbu réew mi ak lan mooy seen taxawaay mu wax ñu ñoom seen policy lan la what are their agendas of course dinañ bëgg a dégg si yow comme que yaa nekk njiiti Afro Movement bente ñu ngi kontaan di la dalal Teledal di dalal suñ seetaankat yi fi ñu nekk nii.
jërëjëf Mohamed jërëjëf si sa dalal bi comme noo ko waxee Teledal sunu daluwaay la daluwaay ñëpp la te definitely nekk na télé bu am solo boo xamante ne Gambien si yëpp ñu ngi ko seetaan ku ñëw si seen studio bi gis nu mu mel nii di nga xamante ne dëgg-dëgg télé bi bu mucc ayib la.
jërëjëf
waaw so ñun suñu programme moom mu ngi tënku si lu ñu indi muy afro movement soo déggee afro movement.
waaye mu ne lan mooy afro movement.
waaw
ñan ñooy afro movement. ak pour lan la afro movement taxaw.
waaw afro movement kuréel yi pan africanisme la soo déggee pan africanisme mooy ñuy xeex pour boole Afrique réewi Afrique mu nekk benn because of réewi Afrique dañu nekk réew boo xamante ne lu ëpp si alali adduna bi mais yu nekk si suuf yi soo jëlee benn 1/3 di nga ko fekk fii nii si Afrique.
common language natural resources.
natural resources.
baax na.
so loolu noonu soo ñëwee si African countries yi ñun am nañ ko waaye tubaab bi dañuy day ñëw ñu nax ñu jël natural resources ñu yóbbu ko ñoom seen dëkk ñu produce ko ñu soppi ko ba pare ñu indil ñu ko waat fii di ñu ko jaayaat. yu mel ni pétrole bi ak gaz bi yu mel ni ay weñ yi iron yi yu mel ni ay copper yi yu mel ni ak meeme yu bëri even suñ jën yi sax jën yu nekk si géej bi sax dañ day ñëw ñu jël ko ñu dem seen yóbbu ko seen dëkk yi soppi ko def ko ay sardine indiwaat ko ñu di ñu ko jaay kon ñun si wàllum pan africanisme mu ngi xeex pour moom sa bopp loolu moom mooy self sufficiency loolu moom moo nekk sovereignty so ñun tey Afrique daanaka réew boo dem loolu lañ nekk di xeex pour ñu moom suñu bopp ndaxte dañu yaagaa noot tubaab bi dañu yaagaa noot gars yi jóge fi ba pare teg fii ñoo xamante ne ñoom seen agenda rek la gars yi dee follow soo demee Sénégal tey government bu fa nekk under the président Diomaye ak Ousmane Sonko ñoom pan africanist government la soo demee Burkina Faso pan africanist government nga faa fekk doo ay ñoom militaire ay soldat lañ waaye nag ñoom seen agenda moom mooy ne léegi fu mu nekk nii dañu bëgg a réew mi lu nekk si biir réew mi rek mu des si réew mi te ñun sax daanaka loolu moom mooy républicanisme moom mooy loo moom lu réew mi moom ñëpp a jot si ñëpp a moom ko loolu moom moo nekk républicanisme nekkut nguur boo xamante ne nguur la boo xamante ne dafa nekk nguuri buur di bumi
léegi mën nañoo waxtaanee affaire yi réew mi mbaa si réew mi man mi nga xam ne for example gis naa PPP government gis naa APRC government ñëw gis NPP government ma war a gis yow nga ñëw si man loo may jaay lu war a tax man ma bàyyi ñëw ñu dem si yow.
waaw lu ñu lay jaay moom mooy jub Gambie fii nii lu fi ñàkk moom moo nekk jub dañu ñàkk njiitu jub boo saa yu nekk yéen a ngi dégg ay jubadi yu nga xamante ne mu ngi am si yoo xamante ne ñu wax ne ñuy liggéey si nguur bi ñoom ñoo ko nekk di def ba mu waral sax am ay xale yu jub yu mel ni ay gaala di xeex
soo dee bëgg a wax ne suñ jiite réew mi jubut
suñu ñuy jiite jubuñu
njiiti réew mi jubut
dama ne ñu ñuy jiite jubuñu
xam nga fu may waxee
waaw ñu ñuy jiite ñu yore ñu ñu dénk suñu wàllum réew mi jubuñu ok kon te ñàkk a jubadi boobu noonu moom moo tax saa yu nekk nga dégg ndaw yi jug
so Jawara jubut Yaya jubut Adama jubut
xam nga Jawara Yaya Jammeh bu mu ñëwee suñ sukkandikoo si Yaya Jammeh rek bu mu ñëwee lu mu joxe comme lay lu tax mu def coup d'état moom mooy ne nguur yooyu jubuñu
so dafa lay
lu mu joxe comme lay as an excuse
of course
lu mu joxe as a pretext
ne Jawara jubut
waaw dafa wax ne nguuri Jawara bi corruption moom moo fa nekkoon lu nekk ñoom ñoo fa nekkoon kon ñun lépp luñ ci xam luñ fa jàng noonu jamono boobu noonu ay ndaw lañ woon waaye lépp luñ ci xam si këyit lañ ko jàng kon ñoom Yaya Jammeh wax na suñ sukkandikoo si Yaya Jammeh rek moom wax na ne nguuri Jawara bi jubutoon ñaaka jubadi moom moo tax mu génnee ko fa su ñëwaatee moom tamit moom si boppam bu président Barrow ñëwee ak coalition bi ñoom teg nañ commission boo xamante ne jaane commission ñu saytu ay alelam ñu wax ne Yaya Jammeh jubutoon so ñoom it ñu gis ne ñu dajale ay alal yu bëree bëri
suñ sukkandikoo si loolu dinañ ne kon
waaw
nguuri Barrow tamit ñu ne nguuri Jammeh jubut
waaw ñoom tam ñu ne nguuri Jammeh jubut moom moo tax gars yi teg jaane commission mu nekk commission boo xam ne ñu dajale alali Yaya Jammeh yu bëree bëri ñu jël ko ba mu loo xamante ne ñu ngi ko xayma si ay billion of dollars so loolu tamit nguur bu nga xamante ne ñoom ñoo fi nekk mu amaat beneen newspaper bu ñoo wax ne di Republic mu génnee ay xibaar wane ne nguur bi si boppam tamit ñu doon dajale di seetu nguur Yaya Jammeh bi ñoom tam jubuñu.
léegi comme que affaire yi noonu la demee kon xanaa ñun dañuy continuer di wax ne ñu fi jiitu jubuñ bi Afro Movement ñëw nañ léegi.
waaw moo tax
identify nañ ne Republican newspaper li mu wax mooy nguuri Barrow jubut yow tamit gëm ngeen ne nguuri Barrow jubut.
waaw kon ñun si ñooñu la ñoo mën a sukkandiku because of ñooñu ay gestukat lañ. ay gestukat lañ ñoo xamante ne gestu nañ ay mbir gis na ne alali Yaya Jammeh yu nga xamante ne yu mu fi bàyyi woon yëpp. ñoom dañ ko jël ñu pasaree ko ñoom seen biir ñoom dañ ko jël ñu séedoo ko ñoom seen biir kon jubadi amul.
fooguloo ne Barrow dafa jiite rek waaye ñi ko toppa
ba pare ñaaka jubadi boobu noonu loolu dafa mel ni kon ñun lu ñu doon xeex suñu maam yi lu ñu xeexoon pour génnee fii pour ñu am independence lu ñu doon xeex pour ñu am republican country kon loolu amu fi kon moom moo tax ñun ñu ñëw ñu indi leen république boo xamante ne alal boo xamante ne askan bi moom moo ko moom dafaa delluwaat si askan bi lépp lu nga xamante ne dëkk bi moom moo ko moom rek mu delluwaat si.
ba ku la owoon léegi ne la ñu ngi NPP ñun ñoo nekk nguuri réew mi dañ la bëgg a jox place kaay nga liggéey ak ñun li ngay wax noonu ne su nekkee génnee nga ñu si nguur gi yow soo toogee loolu ngay def kaay léegi nga def ko ak ñun di nga ko def.
weesu nañ loolu te loolu sax am na waaye defuñ ko dama ne loolu am na.
oo nañ leen
dama ne am na waaye jarul sax ñu ki taxaw foofu noonu. dama ne loolu am na woo nañ ma pour ñu dem dama leen wax ne ñun nekkatuñ si loolu noonu ñun lu ñoo xeex fu nekk nii mooy nu Adama Barrow di génnee fii.
waaye su génnee taxut loolu saafaraal affaire yi.
non moo tax dañ bugg a mu tegu suñ loxo réew mi mu tegu si ay loxo ndaw yi nga xamante ne seen loxo set na.
waaye ndax pare ngeen kon bokk ak ñeneen beneen coalition ngeen dem against Barrow because léegi ñëpp li ñuy wax mooy na Barrow dem.
mbir bi du mbiri coalition right now mbiri wax ñaaw